All right, so sharing my screen. Today we're going to do 3 things. We are going to go over your last assignment, your final assignment, and then we're going to go over a not compare and contrast, an optional like extra credit assignment. And then we'll do Kahoot. Excuse me, Kahoot. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Yes.
Okay. Check this out. There's a new option. It's like, wow, thank you for adding it at the end of the year, but raise your hand option. How cool is that? So instead of, if you have a question, instead of unmuting your mic, let's try the raise your hand option and just click on it, and then I'll call on you, and then you can unmute your mic. So yeah, let me see what's happening here. Show participants. Is anybody? Nobody's raising their hand. Okay, cool. Let's go over the final assignment. So first thing I want to show you guys is that you should have read the Medusa short story and poem already. And this is just a compare and contrast. It's going to have 7 questions asking about those 2 texts. So what you might want to do is go back in and pull those texts up just to have them in front of you. You don't have to reread the whole thing, but I put them here. If you go into your class and you go into files, there's a folder that says Medusa text, and they're both right in there just to make it easy so you don't have to go back to those older assignments. You can just open them up right here, okay? And then the questions that you'll see, they're going to be multiple choice, but each one is going to have a statement. And if the statement only applies to the short story, then you'll pick the short story. If it only applies to the poem, you'll pick the poem. If it applies to both of them, like it happened in both of them, then you'll click both. So those will be the questions. So what I want to do is go over the statements so they make sense to you guys and answer any questions you have before you do this assignment. So the first statement will say, compose in chronological order. Chronological order. Does anybody know what that means? Well, I'll tell you. Chronological order is when something is put in the order that it happened. So first event, second event, third event. It's not going in and out like past and future and present. It goes in exactly the order that it happened. So you have to think, okay, was the story, the short story, did it go beginning, middle, end in exactly the order that it happened? Did it have flashbacks or... And then you have to think the poem, did it go in beginning, middle, and end? And so think carefully, okay, because the poem does do a lot of back and forth. So you might want to look at it again before you make your final decision on this answer, okay? So chronological order, the order that it happened, first, second, third, beginning to end, okay? And then the second statement describes Medusa as beautiful. So anywhere in the poem or the story, did they describe her as beautiful? If it was both of them, you pick both. If it's one or the other, you know what to do. Okay. Number 3, develops Perseus's motivation for killing Medusa. Basically what this means is, do they give us a reason? Do they tell you why Perseus is wanting to kill her? So in the story, did they talk about that? Did they explain why Perseus was going to kill her?
You're not a mind reader, are you? Lucky for you, it's like a story character.
Someone needs to mute their mic. And then also, in the poem, did they tell us why he wanted to kill her, or did they just go straight to him killing her? Okay, think about that. And then we have first person account of Medusa's point of view. What this means, first person, do you guys remember, what does it mean to be first person point of view? How is the author telling the story?
You were there.
To kind of be
person.
we.
You were there.
We.
Me.
Yep. So
Yeah.
it's her telling this story. Very good. We. If Medusa is using those pronouns talking about herself, then that's first person point of view. So did they do that in the poem? Did they do that in the story? Or both?
I
know why Perseus killed Medusa too.
Yep, and they tell us in one of those texts, so you have to figure out which one it is. All right, and then the next one is portrays Medusa as lonely. So do they describe her as a very lonely person in any of the texts, or monster, however you want to describe her? And then finally, uses words and phrases to humanize Medusa. Humanize means to make her seem like a human. So in the poem, do they use words to make her seem like a human at any point? Could be at any point in the text.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then in the short story, did they make her seem like a human?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So if you know that for sure, then you would pick both. Okay. So that's hopefully going to be a pretty simple assignment for you guys. But remember, if you get stuck, you can always reach out to me. And then I just want to go over this other assignment that is optional. And optional means you don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. Okay. But this will be, next week is going to be just a makeup week or an extra credit week. So you'll have this to do if you want the extra credit, or you can work on other things if you need to get caught up. That's totally up to you. But today is your final, official assignment. That Medusa is your final official assignment. But this is just a fun little extra credit assignment. If you do choose to do it, you will get extra credit. That means I will replace one of your grades, like your lowest grade. I'll replace it with the grade for this. So say you got a D or something on another quiz from a couple weeks ago. If you do this, I'll change that to a better grade. Anyways, it's a personal narrative, so it is kind of like an essay, but it's more fun because it's you writing about yourself. So the prompt is to write a personal narrative using the graphic organizer about a day in your life during this crazy quarantine. So if you just want to tell me about something that's happened during quarantine, anything that you think is interesting, this is your chance to tell your story and be creative. So it just has little boxes for you to write. But with any story or any essay, make sure you have a beginning, middle, and end. So you will just write right into the boxes and then email it to me through Office 365, or you can just attach it. That's my email right there. Any questions about the extra credit assignment, guys, before we start Kahoot?
No.
Awesome.
Nope.
I don't think so.
All right, cool. All right, so then let's get straight to Kahoot. Here we go.
Let's go.
Is this gonna be the error question? What's the pen?
I'm working on it. Here we go.
Be patient.
Patience
never
is a
patient,
virtue,
like,
my child.
Patience is a virtue.
That's right.
Never patient. And
Man, I
Jaden's
wish I could
already
mute
leaving. Dublin. Wait, no.
Miss McCann,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have the raise the hand sign on my my.
6-2.
You don't see it? Maybe so when you go into your teams, in the top right, you know how you have your circle, you'll have your picture of your pit bull there.
Yeah.
You click on that, and then that's like your account information. And all the way at the bottom, there should be a line that says check for updates. You might have to update your teams.
Okay.
Yeah, I can try that.
Miss McCann,
Yeah, Lewis?
I have to put my phone on the charger because it's dying, so don't start it without me.
All right.
Why can't you just use it while it's charging?
That's what I'm gonna do.
He just has to put it on there before it dies.
All right.
Make sure you guys put your real name, so if you win, I can give you your tickets.
I didn't do that.
I know that you're a maze runner, right, Mike?
Yeah.
fun or tickets?
Just make sure I know who you are.
I'm going to be Rebecca because I woke up badly.
I get it.
My
How
mom.
many people have their pets with them right now, or do they have any pets with them right now?
My mom knows I don't like being tickled, and even though she does it anyway. Who has that, Mom?
Okay, somebody do me a favor and just try the raise your hand sign because I want to see. I want to see if I can see it.
I did
I
it.
did it.
You guys. See
All right. We are all raising our hands.
it? I don't see it. What's wrong with my thing? All right, that is something I'll have to work on. But thank you.
In a meeting with Miss McCann.
Okay, we are gonna start in like 1 minute. Hopefully Lewis comes back.
Yeah, I think so. Michael,
What?
mute yourself.
Got the golden pin.
Yeah.
I'll mute you guys once we start the game.
I learned a new trick, Miss McCann. Do you want to hear it?
Sure. That was a lot, Rebecca. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, cat over here.
Too early for that, Rebecca.
Sorry.
Okay, Lewis, are you back? We gotta start, buddy.
Yeah, I'm in. I put my
Okay.
name in.
All right, here we go. Last chapters of The Giver.
Yeah.
You have to unmute yourself, Miss McCann.
I got it, and I'm not saying it. Oh, I got that correct.
Okay, I muted myself for a second.
What is that noise? Who got that?
I'm having technical difficulties.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Here we go. Good job. It was Jonas's dad. The community immediately believes Jonas died and does not look for him. True or false?
Oh, I clicked the wrong answer.
I know this one.
I clicked the
I
wrong
know.
answer.
I clicked the right one.
It was like those accidental things.
If any of you did not read it, then fail.
So that is false. They did look for him.
Remember the
People look for him, but then they start to stop.
We'll get to that. Good job, Mike's in the lead.
Miss McCann?
Yes.
The funny thing was, when I saw Jonas's pet, I'm like, how can a pet talk there?
Couldn't understand you. Give me a second.
Oh, I know this one.
Why does Jonas decide to leave early despite the careful delayed plans for the departure?
Square.
He had to rescue Gabriel because Gabriel was going to be released.
And when we're released, she means dead.
Mia, what were you asking me? I can hear you better now.
Huh? I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I didn't even get to answer that.
After his escape, what word does Jonas now understand the true meaning of?
Well, this one's easy. That book was, I like that book.
They were starving during their escape. They didn't have food.
Why the music?
Someone needs to mute themselves, so I don't have to, because I always mute myself.
Oh, I know this one.
What does Gabriel mistake for plane?
I clicked the wrong thing.
square?
Who thinks a shooting star is a plane?
Birds.
I don't know.
Because little kids looks very little. I think things are
What
playing.
memory does Jonas transmit to Gabriel to help protect them from discovery, from them being found?
Well, what would make him cold?
What?
They were like freezing, they were cold, so he gave him the memory of sunshine, of heat, to make him stop crying, to make him feel better.
But it said discovered.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the right answer. So
It said discovered, so that's confusing.
That was a confusing question. Sorry, I didn't write it. Blame Kahoot. It is Labor Day in the elsewhere. Remember, guys, Labor Day happens in September. Ah, that was a tricky one. It can't be September because it was snowing, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
What does Jonas find at the top of the snowy hill in chapter 20?
Oh, I know this one. I know this one.
A sled, just like his memory.
Yeah. So
I think
now,
that was his first memory, was it?
so has
My
any,
God.
hey guys, has any of you
What
read?
does Jonas hear at the end of the story?
Oh, I know this one. I know this one. I know this one.
The sound of Gabriel dying. That's nice.
I know this one.
I like the square. That's just why.
Music, singing, and happiness.
That's where he couldn't hear it before. Ooh.
And why? Because it was a holiday, I think. What time of the day did Jonas and Gabriel travel?
I know this one.
That's a little tricky because they
It is
started at
tricky
night.
because
And
they had
then
a plan, but remember, they went away from their plan.
my phone died.
Oh no.
I thought it was on the charger, and then it just went beep.
Miss McCann, it logged me out.
Oh, I'm
The
sorry.
fact that his phone
There's
died.
only two more questions. What part of Jonas's body hurt? Got injured?
I feel bad for Jonas because he hurt his ankle.
Rebecca, you just gave the answer.
Yeah, stop saying the answer.
Sorry. I'll mute myself.
His ankle. Good. That was, I think, a question on your quiz as well. Last one. What would happen to Jonas and Gabe if they would have been captured?
This one's easy.
Yeah, this should be an easy one.
It is.
from 17th place to 2nd place.
Both would be released for sure because they were already going to release Gabe. All right, Bethany, first place. Izzy, second place. And Mike, third place. Good job, everybody. Sun is up.
Oh man.
And Jen. Good job. I hope you enjoyed the book. Let me get back to the screen here.
Okay.
And stop sharing so I can say bye to y'all.